Hi, everybody. Hi, Western New York. Good to see you. We have a meet and greet tonight with my campaign finance team. That's Mary and Amber. You've met Mary and Amber before, right? Bring them on up, Torin. I'm waiting for him to come up. You guys there?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we're there.
Hey, guys. So how are you? How you doing?
Great.
Yeah, working hard. It's the end of the month, so this is finances time to shine.
Well, finances time to shine means what we have to meet our end of the month goals. And why is that? For the team at home.
Well, I think one of our biggest things is getting you on TV, Nate. Like that's what's really going to help move a lot of those voters who maybe aren't plugged into their local Democratic committee, but if they're watching Jeopardy, if they're watching the Bills game, and we can get a couple commercials in, like that's what's really going to help people see your message.
We can't win without commercials because the space is so big, and COVID makes it even harder. Now we have a base, but remember this is a Republican district. That means there's way more Republicans than Democrats. So we have to. We can't just rely on our base or we'll get killed. We have to expand our base. And we know when people know my story versus my opponent's story, even Republicans will vote for me because he's a blue blood who was born rich, never worked a day in his life. And people know that I'm a guy who came from humble roots, worked my way up. We couldn't be more different. So we're trying to get that story on the news or on the television. But to do that, we need your help. So, guys, what do we do? What are we doing? How do we raise money? Can we talk about this with the team out here?
Oh yeah, I'll give you a little peek behind the scenes. Amber, do you want to go first?
Come on, Amber.
How do we raise money? Well, from my perspective, it's call time, right? We sit on the phones all day and call people and nicely ask for money and tell them about your story.
If you run for office, I should tell everybody out there, whether you like it or not, you become a professional fundraiser because the system is so broken. And I talk about it all the time. Let me give you a brief history lesson in 30 seconds or less. Campaigns were always corrupt since the beginning. George Washington used to buy votes by buying people booze. But it wasn't so bad because there's only so many patronage jobs you could give out. There was only so many drinks you could buy. But television changed everything. And the big change in television was Disney, Roy Disney, the brother of Walt Disney. He created a commercial called I Like Ike. You ever see the commercial, the cartoon? That commercial created a phenomenon where people really wanted to have ads on television. And there's no limit to the platform that television can be, especially in the era of social media. So the cost of campaigns has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. Meanwhile, this is longer than 30 seconds, but I'm almost done. Meanwhile, the courts have said there are no limits to how much you can spend in campaigns. Long story short, there used to be limits. There used to be limits to how much corporations could spend and even individuals could spend. Those limits are pretty much gone. So a guy like me has to raise money to compete. And it's as simple as that. Now, you may be saying, well, isn't that how it should be? The First Amendment should allow you to use as much money as you want. Not how it's done in other democracies. In Germany, every political party gets one commercial, I think. In the UK, there's caps that are like tiny compared. Like most congressional races in America cost more than the entire campaign cycle in the UK. So we have a totally crazy system. It's part of the reasons why too much money is in politics. Guys, you want to say anything? Go ahead.
Yeah, so call time is a big part of our operation. We work at finding people that want to hear Nate's story, right? Like we're kind of operating off of people want to see good people in Congress. They want good government. There's a lot of people in Western New York that that need that and see that and are part of our grassroots movement. And there are also people who have maybe moved outside the district, even though they grew up here or have connections here. Or identify with Nate, with his story, going to working through community college, becoming a lawyer, a Fulbright scholar, that sort of pathway. So people who identify with Nate's story, we can kind of tease them out, and find them. And then Nate calls them, gives them the spiel. And then Amber is like the follow-up queen. Write you an email like, oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad you talked with Nate. But really, like, it's what I think like the most compelling part of call time is getting to talk with you, Nate. Like, your ask is the most compelling thing.
Well, this is what I do. I'm cold calling a lot of people. I call a lot of people in Western New York. I may have called some of the listeners here, but I'll be like, hi, my name is Nate McMurray, and I'm running for Congress. May I speak to you for a moment? Or as Mary has told me, don't ask, just say, how are you today? It's very awkward for me to say that, but I try my best to do it. And, it is hours and hours and hours on most days, in addition to all the other things we're doing as part of being running for Congress.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's an exhausting process. Zach is asking me, how much do the commercials cost? Hundreds of thousands of dollars a week, minimum, a week. It's crazy. And last time I ran the local radio, so we were supposed to get the lowest possible rate because it's political. That's the law. I was charged the highest possible rate and we filed a complaint, et cetera, et cetera. But it's a crazy system. Amber, you're quiet. Talk about call time with me, how terrible it is.
I'm quiet because I have 4 children in my house, and sometimes when my mic is hot, they want to scream. So
it's okay. We understand that.
COVID times, right? So call time with Nate is, like you said, it's hours and hours a day where, he's on the phone, he's talking to people. My favorite thing I will say is when I can hear Nate go, no, it's really me calling you. It's really, because people are like, it's not really you calling, right? Like, you have other people calling. And so that's one of my favorite things, is that Nate actually puts in the work himself and will call people, as opposed to, having me call or having a little group of people make his phone calls for him. Nate's on the phone. Thankfully, we have a system so he doesn't have to manually dial, but he's on the phone every single day making these phone calls. And then, again, more hours of follow-up and making sure that we're talking to more people. So it's extremely intense.
So we're trying to raise money right now, guys. Look at, we have new signs. I'll hold the sign. If you donate, what's the deal here?
So
$50?
If you live in district and you donate $50 or more, we'll get you a lawn sign with Nate's signature on it.
If you donate $50, I will deliver you a sign. I know some of you have had your sign stolen. If you had your sign stolen, put it near your house. So someone asked a question about the event on Saturday. I'll talk about the event on Saturday happily. You want me to talk about the event on Saturday? Can we talk about that for a second, Mary and Amber? You mind?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's the big subject.
So listen, those people did what they did. They're proud of it. They beat that effigy. Now they're going to say, well, Chris really didn't beat it, but he appeared on a stage with a bunch of people who spread conspiracy theories, who mocked the virus, who were openly abusive of the governor, this is one of the richest people in America, Chris Jacobs. Don't make a mistake here. Do you know that, look, Prince Harry and Prince William have a lower net worth than Chris Jacobs? He was born with more money than Prince William and Prince Harry, if you can imagine that. And he's up there talking about Hollywood and media elites and pandering and attacking the Black Lives Matter movement. There's people that are holding QAnon signs. He agreed to stand on that stage. And if he wants to renounce the organizers, if he wants to renounce the event, great. I will totally understand that, and I'll be grateful that he did it, because let's announce those terrible, awful ideas. Let's not stand on stage with people that defile our elected officials like that. His congressional tenure so far is humiliating. He voted by mistake, and then he took part in one of the most offensive rallies in the history of our region. I mean, it was downright. apocalyptic. Go ahead. Anyone want to add anything?
Yeah, Maggie, I saw your comment. He wants to be like Trump. Like pretty much all of Jacob's votes have been in lockstep with Trump. And he comes back to the district and then goes to a rally like this. AJ, thank you.
AJ, thank you. We're going to get you that sign.
Only 1/10 of what the impeached presidents paid in federal income taxes. Oh my God. That one hurts.
That is crazy.
That one hurts so bad.
AJ's donation is oh my gosh. That is nuts. It's almost the same amount that he paid in federal income taxes. That's insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, someone I was looking up everything, and someone that you had a meeting with a couple weeks ago gave $750, and I thought, that is the same amount. So we're grateful for that person's generosity and upset about Trump's actions.
Amber, what do you think about that rally? Would you go to a rally like that? Would you feel comfortable at a rally like that with your friends and family?
No, absolutely not. And in fact, should I have gone to that type of rally where there was no masks and people were angry and shouting, and then they pull something like that out, I would have immediately left.
So I'm going to tell you a story I told before. A couple of years ago, you guys, when I was town supervisor, I met a guy called Russ Thompson. Have you ever heard of Russ Thompson?
I don't think so.
Russ Thompson is a longtime conservative activist, and friend of Carl Palladino. Listen, I didn't know him like that. I know him as a member of my community, as a small town supervisor. I was somebody that I felt I had to help represent, like everybody in my town. I represented no matter what your political beliefs were. I worked with you and I tried to be friends with you. Sometimes it didn't work. But with Russ, something about him was similar to like some of the people some of my family members, like growing up, because he's a blue collar guy, worked with his hands, and on that level we connected. So he invited me to one of his rallies, and I said, I don't really want to go, but he's a nice guy. I'll go check out the rally. So I walked to he's like, you can speak. I'll give you a speaking event. Like, I was like, oh, all right, I'll go to your rally.
Right.
So it was in downtown Buffalo, and I walk into the rally, and I see Confederate flags. I see conspiracy documents, and I text him. I say, this is nuts, Russ. I am not speaking at this, and I walked away. Now, if Chris Jacobs is really upset about what he saw at that rally, he would have walked away. He would have turned around and said, I do not want to be part of this. He took the stage and he talked about Hollywood, the media, Cuomo being a tyrant. He attacked protesters. He said America was falling apart. He said America was at risk. If that's your guy, go vote for him. Go ahead. Any comments from you guys?
And honestly, I don't know Chris Jacobs' heart, but I think that we've seen, him moving to the right and his, maybe he's changed beliefs. Maybe this is an opportunity. Maybe this is like an opportunity for him. And one thing that really differentiates you two for me is like that you really stick to your values. You have like your dignity to things that like your principles, right? And like that's when you came to this, maybe you would have gotten some votes from being that event, but you were like, no, like this isn't worth it to me. I'm not gonna compromise my morals by doing this. Maybe Jacobs feels different, but maybe this is just sort of like a path to victory for him. That it's just like
I used to, Kelly, by the way,
I don't know.
He's claiming that he left the event early and he didn't know about the beating of the dummy. But is he going to renounce, Kelly? Is he going to renounce the people that spoke at the rally? Is he going to renounce the organizers for all the other things that were going on? Is he going to renounce the other speakers who talked about Hillary Clinton spying on them? Is he going to renounce the people who spread QAnon conspiracy theories? Is he going to announce the host who was a member of the media who got up there and said that he doesn't believe that the virus is real and didn't want to wear a mask? Is he going to renounce the other people that said the virus was a hoax? Is he going to renounce it? If he's willing to renounce all that, let's have a conversation. But he got on that stage.
As Amber would say, I'll bet the farm.
I do always say that. I don't know where it comes from. I'm sorry. But you're right. Exactly what you said. All it takes is him stepping up on stage.
He literally stood on that stage, the same stage, And now he's saying I wasn't part of it. Is there any other greater form of gaslighting? He literally stood on the stage and said, I'm not part of it.
That seems really on brand with with the situation that happened around his USPS vote. He took part in something happened.
Oh, it's so on brand.
Right. And then being able to use to go back and spin it and say, no, I didn't mean it. This isn't the kind of representative I am, even though you see this. And I think, honestly, if he were to renounce it, more people, there are more people in Western New York that think that sort of actions, like being without masks, like making an effigy and beating it. I think there are more Western New Yorkers that think that that's really terrifying than he would probably get votes if he said.
Why doesn't he renounce the whole thing and saying it was a disaster? And his comments were, look, this is a guy who went to the White House lawn and bragged about it without a mask, with people that were maskless. He are you guys protesters?
I am. Yes. Mary also. Yes.
Are you for equality? Because he called you guys at his rally the end of America. I mean, listen, this is who he is at this point. One of the reporters was asking me today, do you really think he's a good person? And do you think he believes these things? I'm like, yes, I think he believes these things. Yes. My theory on it is this. I don't think he's that bright. And I think that, money can buy a lot, but it can't buy brains. You can fake it for a while, but I think he likes this stuff because it appeals to his low intellect. That's what I think. And I think, he had all the tutors in the world, all the advantages in the world, and he cares to indulge in this type of nonsense. And take all this other stuff away. He praises the president ceaselessly. Does anything else have to be said? Go ahead.
No. Clearly, like Mary said, it's right on his brand. It's exactly who he is. And he continuously shows all the people in NY27 exactly who he is.
So he had we're approximate 7,000 Democratic votes in the special election. Did you guys know that?
Yeah, I remember talking about that.
So those people still think he's the guy that used to go to refugee welcoming events. They think he's still the guy that, used to welcome Somali refugees to Buffalo. They think he's the guy that used to be part of the international organizations in Buffalo. He's not that guy, guys. He's the guy who goes to the rally that beats the effigy. That's who he is. He's the guy who, cheers the people having the QAnon signs. That's who he is.
Yeah, and I think back to your point, Liv, the reporter asking do you think Chris Jacobs is a good person? It doesn't, if someone's my legislator, I've been an NY27 resident my whole life. It doesn't matter, sort of in the sense of a law, I want a good I want someone who is kind to people. But if they're not doing good things for the district, it doesn't, that should that's not necessarily a part of what we're talking about. We want a person who's gonna fight for the unions. We want someone who's going to fight for people who need Social Security and get a better job market here. Those are the really material things that people need. And I think that's what makes you so appealing.
To the folks at home, we have the worst job market in the country. Chris Jacobs was a state senator. He didn't do anything to be a good state senator. He did nothing. He used it as a stepping stone to advance his career. Here he is in Congress, and he's voted wrong. And he's going to these controversial rallies. That's Chris Jacobs. And why do you think we have such bad leadership in Western New York? We keep electing guys like this. See this? New signs, $50, and I will sign and deliver it to you. If you live in district, $50. Anybody out there? Our brand new signs. We're trying to hit our end of the quarter goals. And here's the thing: if everybody's watching, if you can even spend a small amount, we have consistently outraised Chris Jacobs in small dollar donations. We don't outraise him overall because this is a guy who can go to his uncle who's got billions and say, give me a check. But we consistently outraise the guy. So we could use your help.
Yeah. Obviously we haven't gotten our data back for the third quarter because it's not over yet, but we did when we were just getting into the second quarter, we were we were looking at the stats, and our average raise was around like 10 times less what Jacobs's was. His was like, I want to say like over 500, and ours was like $67.
Wow, are you serious?
That's a loose figure. So don't quote me exactly, but it was in that ballpark. Like we had way more in-district donors, we had way more small donors in general, and way more small dollar donors. So just kind of like if you're looking at that, like that's who people in the district want. They want they want to see.
I want to say to you folks, thank you for all the support you've given already. Can I show you guys something kind of strange? Hold on a second.
Lay it on me.
Hold on a second.
Just for everybody listening, I hear this all the time. Can I tell you something strange? Can I show you something strange? All the time on Call Time. Let's do it, Nate. What do you got?
Oh, wait till you see.
I'm scared.
I hate to show you, but I'm going to show you. Fresh batch of yogurt. Can you see that?
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Your regular homesteader, Nate.
It just finished, so I wanted to show you. Icelandic Skyr yogurt, super thick. See how thick it is? Doesn't fall at all. How great is that? Now you put that in the fridge.
Can you do the dairy test?
No, I don't want to do that. This is too precious. Now I put this in the fridge, and then tomorrow morning when I start Call Time with Amber, cherries and yogurt.
Yay! Can't wait to hear you eating it.
Oh goodness.
So great.
Sorry, I had to. It looks too good. Every time that yogurt finishes, I get so excited.
Right, to make it all over again. God bless.
If you guys want one of these signs, the new signs, the Vote McMurray signs, go to votemcmurray.com. We'll get you one. Or donate now, $50. I will deliver it to you. And by the way, we had to buy new signs because the old signs, people ripped them down, stole them. I saw someone had a sign up the other day that said, "Every time you rip down my sign, I'll donate to Nate McMurray." So I like that. All right, what else is on your mind? Can we talk about this guy, Brad Parscale? Thank you, Darcy Cole, for your donation.
Woohoo! And Lisa.
Well,
I mean, like if we want to keep on going on like the behind the scenes of what campaign finance is, we only talked about like one pillar of campaign finance.
Okay, so we also do. There's three parts, right? There's support from institutional people. There's grassroots support. There's things like this. We also do outreach to unions that have endorsed us. What else do you want to talk about?
Yeah, like we talk to PACs. Not, I think like something else distinctive about you, Nate, is that, you don't accept corporate PAC money. So we talk to, special interest groups like the Sierra Club, the League of Women, the League of Conservation Voters, the National Women's Organization, groups like that have special interests that, want to see representatives that will represent their interests and like their constituents. We go after those. We create relationships with them. We fill out questionnaires.
So AJ just asked a question. AJ, there's going to be two debates. Sadly, they're not the best debates. One's going to be, they're not televised. We're going to have to televise them online. I think that's because he doesn't want to face me again in a televised setting. So we're working out the details, but right now it looks like there's going to be back-to-back debates. One will be a virtual debate, and one will be one's a great setting, actually. It's going to be in person at St. Joe's. Hopefully that one is broadcast live. Mm-hmm. Keep your fingers crossed. So 2 debates are coming. I'm going to hold them accountable. I'm going to say, look, you can't vote right. The unions can't stand you, even though they used to endorse you because you flip-flopped. You don't have a brain because you even voted against the defense spending bill. God knows why. The guy has just not been a good leader. And what's he going to do when President Trump loses? Because let me tell you, President Trump's going to lose. I hate to break it to everybody out there, President Trump's going to lose. Now, we're going to make it happen, and you're going to work to make it. Everyone out here is going to work to make it happen, but President Trump's done. Now, what are we going to do with a congressman who's pledged his entire life and existence to President Trump? What do you think about the President Trump tax return nonsense? Oh, my gosh. Are you guys following it all?
Oh, yeah. I read it this morning when it broke, and I sent it in our channel. $750. Must be nice.
Yeah. $750. How much you pay last year, Amber? You don't got to go to more than $750, I bet.
Yep, I did.
Did you see my tweet about Abraham Lincoln paying like $1,000 or $2,000 in 1864?
Wow, that was big money then.
I know. Like Abraham Lincoln paid more taxes than Trump. How crazy is that? What else?
Is like today's dollars, or is that just back then he paid $2,000?
Maggie Harkins just donated $50. Maggie, where do you live? Thank you, Maggie. I appreciate it. You don't got to say on here if you don't want to. I appreciate it. Kelly Doe got a text from some of our phone bankers. Our phone bankers are killing it, guys. They really are. Mary was a phone banker before she was in finance. What's that?
Oh,
like?
So was Amber. We were hitting the phone banks. Whew.
Oh yeah, that was great. That was also great. So great.
No, I think we've got the field team is really strong. Like you had Ken and Barry on last week. And yeah, they're really great. Like even as like end of month has really ramped up for the finance team, like they've been, between making their daily calls, organizing phone banks, getting volunteers and doing those text banks, like they've also been helping us out with some smaller finance projects, which has just been really a godsend. Like we're so grateful for them. So go Ken and Barry.
So Torrin, how much should we raise on this stream? We want to raise $500 tonight. Have we raised? Austin said I need to raise $500 tonight on the stream. Are we there?
Or else.
Did you say Ralph?
No, I said or else.
Oh,
Austin brought out the big guns.
I was like, making a Ralph noise isn't really your thing, Mary.
No.
What are we at there, Torrin? Any idea? Appleton, Wisconsin. Wow. Let's give him a round of applause for Appleton, Wisconsin. Look at Appleton, Wisconsin. Wisconsin, you got to go for us and Biden. We love you out there. Fight for Biden. Fight for Joe. Can I tell my Joe story one more time? You guys are so bored of it. You want to hear it?
Give it to us.
Go ahead.
So when Joe Biden came to campaign for me in 2018, he was not running for president, at least officially. He may have been, I don't know. Listen, he came to the airport. I don't think he was running for president because he came to the airport. He just came to the airport. We just picked him up at the airport, the commercial airport, not the private airport. Came to the airport, and my brother picked him up. We rented a car because he said, you need to have a clean car. We didn't have a clean car at the time because all we had was campaign cars. So we rented a car.
That's a lifestyle.
And we rented a car, and he said you needed a driver. And by the way, some people in Western New York were mad at me that I didn't have a big rally with Biden. He didn't want a rally. He wanted to speak at UB and come spend a day with me. And do you think I had the power to call the shots with the vice president? I didn't have any power. We did what he asked me to do. Mm-hmm. And one of the things he asked me to do was make sure I had a driver and a car. So considering we were a grassroots campaign, sound familiar, guys?
Oh, yeah.
I got my brother to be the driver, and we rented a car. My brother picked him up in the rented car from the airport, and he had white gloves on. And I saw my brother getting in the car. I said, what are you wearing? He had a black suit on and white. I go, you look like a hitman. Take those stupid gloves off. But he's like, I want to look like a professional driver. So he drove out, got Joe Biden. He said Joe Biden was a prince. They just talked sports, and he was nice. And he took him to my event. Joshua waited in the car like a driver. Joe got out. Joe did not know Josh was my brother. He didn't know me from Adam. He didn't know what my brother looked like. He didn't know what I looked like. We spent the day with him. I got to talk to him about his wife, and he was so scared for his wife. He put me on the phone with his wife. It was the day the pipe bombing happened. He bought me lunch or bought me breakfast. He put blueberries on my pancake. Now, I say all this because I want people to know There is a lot I do not agree with Joe Biden about. And I know some of our listeners feel the same. He is not the savior of the world. He is a good person. And I keep saying this over and over again, not in any way to diminish him, but a good person sounds pretty darn good right now compared to what we got. And I strongly encourage you to vote for Joe Biden, a man that I know is a good man, a good person, and someone that will be a start for us to work towards the things we need to achieve in this country, and someone to get us back on the right track. And as far as Kamala Harris is concerned, look, when I was in law school, we went to the same law school, and she's like me, working class. We worked our way up. We went to the same law school, and even back then, Kamala Harris was a legend in San Francisco. That was 20 years ago or something. She will be a dynamo. She was a legend 20 years ago in that town. And that town is not a small town. That town is not a country town. That is one of the most metropolitan, most cosmopolitan cities in the whole country. And people revered her even back then. So I'm excited about what's next. These are not perfect people. We don't put our candidates on signs and flags. They're people. And we're hoping those people do a good job. We're going to help them. We're going to hold them accountable when they win. But God, I hope and I pray that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris win. Thoughts, if any?
Here.
We reached our goal. So
you guys want to get off. So
then could we get to $600 by the end of the stream?
I'm just happy we reached our goal, and now you can treat yourself to some pizza or whatever, bacon in the microwave or something.
Go Amanda Stuck, everybody. I see her saying out there. Yep, I'm with you, Maggie. Sorry, Jason Wood is watching. My good friend Jason Wood. Remember when during one of my COVID broadcasts, it's still COVID, but during the early COVID broadcasts, Jason was on with me and played the violin. You guys remember that?
I do. That was one of my favorite streams. I was making dinner, just.
Jason, we love you, Jason. You're a good man. I love you. And your family. I love the whole crew. Thank you for making the goal. Turkey bacon. Christopher Lawrence Doe asked if it's turkey bacon. What does that mean, Christopher Lawrence Doe?
Did we talk about bacon? Turkey bacon, Nate?
No, Nate always makes his bacon in the microwave. So during call time, I hear beep. And it's the microwave because he's always eating bacon out of the microwave.
All my secrets. Do you think Chris Jacobs spends his whole time trying to raise $5, $10 bills? You think that's going on?
No.
Can you imagine if I had $100 million? It'd be dangerous. That's why nobody should have $100 million.
A lot of bacon.
You get some really nice bacon.
It's a lot of pumpkin. It's a lot of pumpkin yogurt and bacon. Do you want to see? I want to show you.
No!
Well, no. Can I show you something?
Another thing? Oh man, Nate.
Hold on.
Here we go.
Oh my gosh.
So for a long time,
oh boy,
I love this. Can you see that, guys?
Yes.
Ziggy's pumpkin yogurt. I love it. But now I make my own yogurt, and I also make my own pumpkin yogurt with cans. And cans of pumpkin puree that I mix into my fresh yogurt with some nutmeg and some cinnamon and some maple syrup. What do you guys think?
That actually sounds really delicious. Better than the Doritos.
When you come over next time, Amber, I will make you some.
You do owe me. Made you my chicken parm for dinner, so.
Wait a second. I still got your chicken parm case right here.
No, I came in and I took my Pyrex back because I needed it to feed.
Okay, you came and got it?
You're not the only person I feed, Nate. I feed other people as well.
Right. Amber's got a whole family.
Amber, your chicken parm is off the charts. It's off the charts. Can we talk
So-
about Amber for a second? Amber, can I talk about your
Yes,
background
let's
since I
talk
have
the
you
heck
on?
about Amber.
Hold on a second.
I'm so ready.
Can you see that?
Amber, can you guys hear me?
Mhm.
Amber is a strong, proud Native woman, right? Amber, can I say that?
You can say that because that's what I am.
Half Irish, half Native American,
Mm-hmm.
Tuscarora.
Oh,
Right?
Cayuga. I'm
Cayuga,
Cayuga.
sorry.
Yep, I'm from Tuscarora, from the reserve out here in Lewiston.
And you were raised on the reservation right there, right? Huh?
Yes.
And if you've never been on there, they probably don't want you on there. But
That's not true. That is not true.
well, I don't know. I don't want to go in any place where I don't want to be. But I gotta say, they have an amazing community center and an amazing school. Where you went to school, right?
Yes, I went to school there, and they teach their language and their culture, and yeah, they have great teachers there that are right from the community, and they care about their students deeply.
Yep, and it's great.
It is.
And I love everything you've taught me about Native culture. You and Sam Nephew. Sam, if you watching, much love and thanks to Sam Nephew for your contributions to my campaign during the special election. Yeah, so Amber, you grew up here, and you are a killer cross player.
I thought you were going somewhere else with that, but yes.
Like one of the best in the country.
I mean, I wouldn't say one of the best in the country, at all, but thank you.
Come on, you played Division One,
I did.
and you were a goalie.
Am a goalie.
You were, but at Syracuse University,
Yes.
and you graduated at Syracuse University,
Yes.
and you look super young, but you have a beautiful and lovely daughter who
I
was
do.
born when you were a sophomore at Syracuse University, right?
Junior. She was born my spring semester of my junior year.
And you raised her while you were playing lacrosse and going to nationals or something.
I was 14 weeks pregnant with Jordan when I played in my first U19 World Cup for the Haudenosaunee Nationals.
Help me say that correctly.
Haudenosaunee. Real nasal.
Haudenosaunee.
You got it. We're gonna get.
You know why I can't say it right?
Why?
Because I was an Eagle Scout, or I am an Eagle Scout, and I was part of Order of the Arrow. Can I talk about this, or am I going to be you? Maybe you may.
I mean, I'm
I
very
feel
interested.
like
No, well, listen, I have no shame in it. I was 14 years old. Let's talk about it. Can we talk about how the appropriation of your culture?
Yeah, no, I'm sure that's where you're going. I'm ready.
So I was an Eagle Scout, and there's a ceremony called Order of the Arrow. Okay,
Mhm.
Mary, you can cut me off if you really want me to. So as a Boy Scout, they take young men out in the woods, and if you become Order of the Arrow, you have to spend a night in the woods, and you can't talk. You have to build your own shelter, start a fire without fire, do all these tasks. And if you pass it, you become a member of Order of the Arrow. And all of that was great. I'm having a little hesitancy going further with this story. I'll keep an abbreviated version of it. So we had a huge bonfire in the middle of the woods, and they take you to this ceremony, this Fa Native American ceremony, where all of these guys that are like your middle-aged scoutmasters come walking out in loincloths and headdresses. And I know. And I was 14 years old or whatever, and I sat there terrified, and they adopted you in to, I don't know if this was official or they just decided to do it or what. I don't know. I was a Boy Scout. And they adopted you into the, quote, they said it wrong, and I've been saying it wrong for all these years since, Haudenosaunee tribe.
So
Go ahead, fix it.
Haudenosaunee is a confederacy that exists of 6 different nations. I would like to know.
Now, if any Boy Scout is out there saying, you got it all wrong, Nate, listen, this is my experience. This is what I went through as a young man. If they did it wrong, don't blame me. I'm talking about my own personal memories. Go ahead.
I would just like to know how all of these grown men with their loincloths on were able to adopt you into our confederacy during some type of odd ceremony around a fire.
So that's gotta
they don't still do that. Please tell me they don't still do that.
Listen, I don't know. I haven't been associated in years. I think, I hope, I pray that those type of activities have been eliminated.
I really too, because I turn in, and I know this might sound terrible, I turn into a complete Karen when I see people dressing up with their headdresses on or their face war paint. Like, that drives me insane. The whole mask.
So Mary, you're keenly aware of these issues too, and both of you tell me.
Yes.
Let's articulate to people watching why, even though what was well intentioned, is hurtful.
Right. So I think that one of the things would be like, you know, like when the colonists came, and like, you know, burnt the land and like really engaged like in a military campaign to take over what is like the Genesee Valley, Western New York, the Finger Lakes, like the, you know, the space that is the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, like that. That was a really like violent thing that happened, and then, you know, like since then, I think like Native peoples all around the country have been prohibited from practicing their religions, from practicing their spiritual practice, and being in their culture, you know, and the U.S. government has been trying to, what they said, like deal with the Indian problem, right? Like that's like actual legal terms that were used.
Yes.
So sort of by way of trying to give people, maybe I'm getting a little too deep. So getting back to it, sorry.
No. Let me say what I think, and you guys tell me if I'm off. I think it's the problem with it is this: it may be well intended and all that stuff, and those men may have been good men trying to give these young boys a coming of age ceremony, but the Native people are not just myths; they're not spirits. They're real people with a real culture and a real nation that was destroyed and it still exists, but much of it was taken away. So let's not pretend it's something in the past or some, you know, some odd story that we're celebrating. It's not a story. These are real people with real values and real ideas. Just like you wouldn't pretend you're part of some religious ceremony that you're not part of, or pretend you're part of some other culture ceremony. You wouldn't do this to Native Americans. They're not for your consumption and enjoyment. Go ahead.
People do all the time. Although I said people pretend
you
that
shouldn't do either. You shouldn't do that, I should say. Yes. Yeah, there you go.
I was going to say people do all the time, but I do want to tell you a really quick story, super quick. When I went to Syracuse in 2005, kind of dating myself here, it was a complete culture shock for me. And one of my first classes was like a freshman, like get to know you 101 type thing. And, you know, you stand up, you introduce yourself, where you're from. And we're talking about 2005. I stood up and I said, you know, my name's Amber Hill. I'm from the Tuscarora Reservation in Lewiston, New York. And everyone started whispering. And then after class, like everyone came up to me and, you know, do you still live in a teepee? I didn't know Native still existed. Now, this is in 2005, and I don't know if a lot of people know where Syracuse University is located, but it's 10 miles, not even, outside of Nedrow, outside of the Onondaga Nation, which is our central fire. So I thought it was interesting that they had no idea where they were, and didn't know that we existed.
That must have been really painful, Amber. I'm sorry that you had to go through that. That must have been really painful.
Yeah. No,
you know what, Amber? I love that you. Can I say something though? I know you go through a lot of health, or you have in your life, but I love the fact that you're so open with me. And when I ask you questions about Native culture or stories, you've taught me so much, and you've enriched my life having the hours we spend together where I get to talk to you about stuff, and I'm grateful to you. Not just that, you know a lot about Western New York stuff that, you know, the history of Niagara Falls, city culture and stuff I didn't know about. And I'm grateful to have that time to spend with you every single day. We got 4 weeks to go. Help us raise money. 4 weeks to go.
Yes. Where's that sign, Nate? Hold that sign. $50. Come on, everyone.
I know. I put it somewhere with the yogurt.
Ew.
Put it with the yogurt.
If you guys are out there, I will send you a signed sign if you donate $50. $50, 50. Let's talk about. Sorry, guys, give me 10 more minutes.
We got it.
Let's talk about. Oh wait, what other? I obviously don't mind going after hot topics here. Or is there any other dangerous topics we can touch? Do I want to give, time to Michael Caputo himself? Talk about that, or do I not care about that guy?
I think we can wish him well in his recovery and rock that. But and also hold that he's caused a ton of harm to our nation, and that's kind of, and while he's out of the spotlight, for me, I'm really, I'm sad you're sick, and I'm frustrated that you did these things, and if he's not doing anything, why do we gotta give him airtime?
Good point. Good point. And I think, I do think one of the problems we've had in Western New York is that rally, back to the rally, that rally was covered by 2 news stations. 2 news stations. And nobody said a word about it really until I started talking about it. And suddenly it became a story again. But 2 news stations covered that rally like it was a picnic. And I think those type of rallies and those type of activities have been tolerated for too long. In fact, a member of the media was on the stage, and some other nefarious actors across our region have been given airtime and treated normal. And sometimes when you start to treat something normal, it becomes acceptable, even if it's horrible. Mm-hmm. And I think it's what's happening with our president. I think it's what happened for a long time in local politics. And that's why we had a corrupt congressman. That's why we had Chris Lee and Chris Collins. Now we have Chris Jacobs, and we had Tom
Chris
Reynolds.
Number 3.
It's a real disaster. And I'm proud to have a platform to fight against it. Because, guys, look, it doesn't matter. To your point earlier, it doesn't matter what you think about me. I don't care if you like me or hate me. I really don't. I want you to like me because I'm a human being. I don't want to be hated by anybody. But I really want your family to have a chance. I want you to have health care and Medicare. And I want this to be a country where regular people have a shot. If you don't like me, that's fine. So a lot of people don't like me. 80% of the time, Amber doesn't like me. I have to talk to her all day long. You get my point. We're human beings. You're not going to like everybody. That's fine. I have my family. I love my family. Let me help fight for your family. I think so much of politics, sadly, people do not vote based on issues. They say they do. They vote based on relationships. And the biggest relationship a lot of people have nowadays, which wasn't the case a long time ago, is a relationship with their political party. Maggie, I agree with what you said right there.
That's a little
Ellen
kernel.
Banks, it is not normal. Don't let them gaslight you. They're like, oh, he wasn't the one beating the dummy. He had nothing to do with it. That's gaslighting. Going to that stage, being part of that rally, look at all the speeches. The speeches were horrific. That's gaslighting. Do not let them. Gaslighting is they're trying to change your vision of reality. Understand that's gaslighting.
And we have to stop normalizing this behavior. It's not okay.
I think the local news has normalized it for years. They make excuses like crazy for this stuff. They bend over backwards. Think about how they have attacked my tweets. Now, you guys know my tweets. I delete 80% of my tweets because I can't spell them with my fat fingers while I'm doing something else. I'll be like, oh, I spelled there wrong. Let me delete it and refix it. I'm pretty open about my messaging, am I not? I'm not hiding what I believe here. But they'll do story after story about my tweeting, but they won't do stories about this vile behavior. It drives me nuts.
But Nate, didn't someone say that there was no coverage because of the liberal media and they didn't want to cover it in Hammer?
That was their first take. Their first take was, oh, I can't believe there was not enough coverage. Yeah. Look, it's going to be the next 5 weeks. Mary, Amber, UFOs are coming. I tell this to Austin every day. You know what that means? Unidentified, freaky objects. Things we cannot predict are going to happen in the campaign. And the way you win campaigns is not to lose your nerve when it happens. What's that?
Who could have predicted that rally? That's the kind of stuff you can't even make up.
who's going to predict what's next? I mean, maybe there's a video out there of me, like, I don't know, urinating in a park or something. I mean, God knows what people are. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I've been alive for this long, and they're horrible. They'll try to spin and create horrible things as much as they can. And we just have to keep our nerve. We're good people. We're fighting for what's right. We're doing what's right, and we're going to keep fighting.
Right. Like, I think we know exactly what we have to do. And no matter what happens, like, if we stay on those things, like, you got to make calls. Austin's got to, manage us. Torian's got to put the ads up on Facebook.
Yep.
Like, we all know what we have to do. And we can be agile, but we can also, like, really stay on that so we can win.
Love your message. I will make calls. I'm going to try to put in at least 6 hours tomorrow. I realize doing plus 8 hours is just killing me. 6 I will make as the goal, and hopefully I'll get 8 in. But there's just more stuff going on right now. I was on the phone all this morning talking to some of the union brothers, and I got some money out of them. They're going to help us out with some stuff. But there's a lot more. It's more intense than it was even a week ago. But I'm going to try to get 6 hours in tomorrow. Thank you so much for your support on that, guys. And keep your head down and keep pushing. Darcel Cole just donated again. Thank you, Darcel.
Oh, my
Appreciate
God.
it.
And Chris,
AJ,
don't worry
Nancy,
about being a Chris in NY27.
Nancy, I got to say this to you. Nancy, we have taken up the rally thanks to Nate, and we'll make it an issue listen, this is politics. 100% of the people are never going to like you. Everybody has to get to their head. If you want to be in a position where everybody likes you, go sell ice cream. I don't know. This is not for someone who wants to be liked by everybody.
Yeah.
You need to understand there will always be opposition in politics. Everybody out there. Don't listen to the opposition. Listen to your own heart and what you think is good, and fight. We need 51% of the vote. That's it. The amateur move in politics is when you hear the voice that hates you most and you answer to that voice. No, you help your base and you go to the middle. That's it. That voice you're never going to get. What I always say, saints, sinners, and fence sitters. Not literally, but you get the metaphor. Worry about the fence sitters and the saints. Get the saints to grow. That's how you win, guys. When they say nonsense, when Trump says, I pay millions of dollars in taxes, 30% of the population, 40% of the population says he does. They don't care about reality.
Right.
We can waste all our time trying to convince them, or we can get the people in the middle who said, well, I voted for Trump because I thought he'd be different. But you can get those people because you say, this isn't working. Or the people who said, well, Chris Jacobs was a moderate. Those are the people we can get. The people who are like, I don't care. He's a Republican. He's with Trump. I got his back. I believe in QAnon. Forget him. You're never going to get them to vote for you. Go for the middle. Go for the common ground. You guys know me by now. I'm no radical. I am how would you describe me, Mary? Let me have it. Be blunt. What's my political alignment? Tell me the truth.
Common sense, maybe?
Notice he went to you and not to me.
Oh, come on, Amber. Let me see what would you say my political affiliation would be? I would say common sense. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. I try to be open and progressive, but it's very nice of you to say. What do you think there, Amber? What would you describe my political belief system as?
I believe you're extremely logical and rational, and you use common sense.
I don't think I'm going to get Mary back on here before the end. Maybe I will. I hope I do because I like talking to her. I don't know if I'm going to get Amber back on. So can I give you guys both a nice compliment before I get off?
Yeah.
You compliment me every day, Nate.
Aw.
Well, Mary, I'll say this right now. You're brilliant. You're so smart. And Amber knows it too. We talk about it all the time. You're so darn smart. You are. I hope you're not burned out on politics. Sometimes I think I hear you say that, but we need smart people in politics. And I know politics is ugly and it's not fun, but God, we need good people like you in politics. And I appreciate the time you've given me to grow and learn and be a better leader and a better boss. And I don't me. I always kind of think of us as peers rather than me being above you somewhere. And I've learned so much from you as a person, Mary, and I'm proud to have you on the team. And man, I heard you speak Spanish about 30 minutes ago, and I felt humbled as well because your Spanish is ridiculous.
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't muted. No,
Your
thank
Spanish,
you. Like,
you're,
really enjoy like working on the team, and like, NY27 is my home, so it's really meaningful to like actually bring some good representation here, and have like a politician that could really listen to us. That's like the most meaningful and rewarding part about it. And I really enjoy our political discussions. I really do.
I miss seeing your brother too. He's fun. And
Mhm.
by the way, your Spanish is not Beto O'Rourke Spanish.
Thank
No,
goodness.
no, sir.
Wait. I was told Beto O'Rourke was super fluent, and then I heard him speak Spanish. I'm like, wait a second. He sounds like me. Like you be honest with me, his Spanish is not good.
Well, I feel like I only ever saw that one clip, and like definitely like, so I don't like, does he like, was it just his was it just his accent that didn't sound like you expected it to? Because
No,
like,
he was like supermarket, mercado, muy mal situation.
right, like, I don't know, like as like a white person that's speaking Spanish that like learned it, when I was an exchange student, like, I think there are a lot of there are a lot of Hispanic Americans, Latin Americans that like live here that like maybe don't have the accent that we think they do, or and as like, and I think it's kind of like getting back to, ooh, sorry, this is coming full circle, back to like what we were talking about, like Amber, like it's like it can be kind of painful to have like a white person have like more access to your culture than you do, kind of in the way that like you
Absolutely.
finding like when you're barred from it, like a Haudenosaunee person like not being able to practice openly, or like people being told like to speak English only and not speak Spanish, that like
But I don't think
kind of rocking that. Like I don't
Beto,
remember that news clip actually.
Beto, I think Beto is.
I don't know. I mean,
wrong.
like it sounds like his name
Beto?
is
I think is
Beto,
Irish.
right?
His name is Robert O'Rourke.
Wait, his real name's
he's not
Beto.
No, his name is no. This is an old story, but yes, his name is Robert O'Rourke. He grew up in Texas, so he goes by the name Beto, but
Right.
he's Robert O'Rourke. His ethnicity is he was born in Woodbury Forest School, Columbia University.
Or are you looking at his Wikipedia too?
Yeah, I want to make sure I'm not right about this guy. I don't think he's of Hispanic background. I think he's a fourth generation Irish American.
All right.
I did not know that.
His parents and paternal grandparents were native El Pasones, while the material grandfather was Metter, Georgia, and his maternal grandfather was Racine, Wisconsin. I think Beto is a common Spanish-Portuguese nickname, first names ending in Berto, initially distinguished. It says here, he's Irish American, like myself. and like Amber here is also Irish American, correct, Amber? Half.
The three of us.
Yay!
Yeah, listen, Mary, you look like if you go there, you look like my brother Josh. Have you met Josh?
No, I've not.
Mary, I'm so sorry.
Okay, anyways, getting us back on. We were talking about like you gave me my compliments. Now it's time for Amber's compliments.
Oh, compliment, we gotta go. Yeah,
validation.
Sorry. Well, listen, Amber, Amber, you're great. You're doing a great job. You see the best and the worst of me more than anybody else besides Austin, because I am with you all day long.
All day long.
And doing something that I frankly hate to do. Nobody wants to cold call people for money all day. I hate it. And I try to like it by doing the things I do, studying while I do it, or whatever else to keep my brain occupied.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I call after call after call of people not answering. But you, my good friend, never lose your temper. You are cool. You are calm. And I hope, not too far away, I'll be voting for you for something. I think you have a future in politics that we could use. Mm-hmm. I think you're someone that would be a great leader in politics. I think America needs more people in politics, period. There's seats right now that no one's running for. Tons. Mm-hmm. So God bless America, Amber. You keep doing what you're doing, and you keep being a great mom. I got to say that because your daughter's fantastic, and I don't know the other kids as well, but you're Your the biggest daughter is great, and I'm glad to have you on my team. I have all these wonderful people I got to meet through my campaign, and you're one of them. And God bless you for being on the call time with me every day.
Thank you,
Okay?
Nate.
Amber's super organized. Oh, let me just interrupt you. Yeah, Amber's super organized. Like, I think one of the things about call time is that it's super detail oriented, and you just like check those off every time. You're really great at follow up, like just having all that organized. Like that's really it's a really important job you do.
It's awful.
It is.
When I make 400, no, let me finish. When I make 400 phone calls in one day, and you send out 400 emails in one day, how does that feel?
I've dyed my hair a few times. I'm exhausted. You guys can't see the bags under my eyes, or maybe you can. It's empowering, but it's exhausting. But like you just said, like put our heads down, just do the job, get the work done, final push. This is important. This is so.
Oh man, but I get so darn mad when like people will call, local political know-it-alls will call me and be like, "Why didn't you do this?" And I'm like, "How about you call 20 people today for me? If you want us to win, stop talking about what we did wrong and make 20 phone calls for me."
Right. Help.
It drives me nuts, considering the level of effort we put into this on a daily basis, and the nitpicking, the whining that comes from certain so-called elite Democrats. It drives me nuts. Sorry to be off track on this, but when we're killing ourselves, I wish more people would say, okay, how can we help? How can we raise those guys $50? Just $50. How can we, instead it's like, how come you didn't advertise in the Penny Saver this week? I'm like, well, maybe because we don't have any money to advertise in the Penny Saver this week.
Right.
You
Or
know
like
what I mean?
we're keeping our money, like we're deciding how we're meeting out our money really well because TV, guys, TV.
We wish we had the luxury to do it how they do it in other campaigns where the national party gives them millions of dollars. We don't. I mean, God help me why the national party hasn't figured out this is a winnable race yet, considering our polling is great, considering we came close twice. I just don't get it, and I never will. But man, I get all mad about that, Amber, because you keep working. While others talk, some people walk, and you walk. Thank you.
Very far every day. See, this is where I live, everyone. Every 16 hours a day, I'm in this room just doing my job.
I won't show people where I live. It's behind this mysterious white wall, and it's terrifying.
You keep it all right, Natelyn. You keep it all right.
Amber, you know how I keep it.
I'm not saying what.
You know what my son said to me? Last story, I promise we'll stop. Obviously, I'm COVID brain here. I have human contact. We went to my grandma's, my son's grandmother, my mother's house, and my son said, well, Grandma, big problem. Dad's office is disgusting.
He calls it like he sees it.
He really does.
It's pretty bad.
Especially if Yuli's been there. I'm sure it's...
You know what happened to the chair I use?
The yellow one?
Highlighters. The yellow one. I keep putting highlighters in my jeans and I sit down, so the whole seat of it is covered in highlighter.
Why am I not surprised?
Keep ruining jeans and I keep ruining chairs.
At least that one doesn't smell like the last one.
Oh,
that was
rough. That wasn't my fault though.
No, it wasn't.
An old chair. It was just an old chair.
It was an old something. Ugh.
I'll let you guys go. I miss you both. Seeing you every day, more frequently in person. I'm grateful. God bless you. Be good. Be safe. 4 more weeks. Thank you for being on my team. Thank you for making me a much better candidate. Okay, guys?
Thank you for having us, Nate.
Yeah, thank you,
guys.
Nate.
Be happy.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you for...